Hello, Diane here from Stitchscape on the very first Creative Reset conversation. It's going to be a series of chats that I have with both professionals from the patchwork and quilting industry, as well as the likes of just you and I, to chat about how we get our creative energy back after a bit of a dip in energy or life events, meaning that sewing has not been possible, not even thinking about it. So, because I hear that so often, because I run socials and other patchwork and quilting events, such as retreats, and so often ladies come to me and they say, "Oh, Diane, I haven't had a chance to touch it. I've hardly done a thing." It's almost like a guilt that they have to declare. And as a business owner, I know I'm working in this field and I still sometimes find it hard to get those little moments of getting my sewing done. And yet other times I could maybe sew a project in a week. So it all depends on where we're at. But these creative reset conversations are for those times when energy's dipped a little bit. Now, Helen Creasey from a business And So I is going to be teaching at one of my retreats next year in October 2026. Both Carrie and I, Carrie's from Bright Quilting, I'm from Stitchscape. We are doing another joint workshop in October 2026, and Helen is going to be teaching it because it's going to be a workshop-based retreat for 3 days. I will put a link below or in the description all about that. But I've also been talking a lot about my Patch a Day challenge, which will also be linked below, which is a 30-day challenge to encourage you to work your way back into your sewing, hence the inspiration for these conversations. And so, because Helen is going to be teaching at that retreat next year, there are places available at the time of doing this video. Whether there are or not when you're actually seeing it, I don't know. But I've got a conflict where I'm teaching or I'm promoting Patch a Day challenge in one breath, and in another breath, I'm telling people about Helen teaching in Llangollen next year because the workshop that Helen is teaching is her Blooming Mandala quilt, which is, let me share my screen with you. Actually, first things first, there is Helen herself. And that's on her website. So if you go over to there, and so that will get you to Helen. And then there is her Blooming Mandala quilt, award winning, no doubt, no less. So coming after here, Helen and I talk through just 5 questions on how she resets her creative mojo and how we can consider us being able to make a quilt as beautiful as that, bit by bit, moment by moment. Okay, yes. Hello, everyone. I'm here with the wonderful Helen over there. Say hi, Helen.
Hello.
I've done a brief little introduction for this video, so you all know that it's for the Creative Reset little chat series. Hopefully, it's going to turn out to be. And Helen has kindly said that she will be the guinea pig to be put through this little chat. Hopefully, it won't be too much torture. And what I need Helen to do first is tell us herself about who she is and what she loves doing about being a quilt designer and quilt maker. Over to you, Helen.
Thank you. Um, well, I'm a quilt designer and I've won a couple of awards in the last few years. Visitor's Choice at Festival of Quilts in 2023, and then I got the Excellence in Machine Quilting Overlay and the third place in Contemporary in 2024. Um, um, which was a bit of a surprise for me because really I've not been quilting very long. I have a background in architecture. That's where I trained for university. And I basically started quilting after my second daughter was born in 2018, and I needed some me time
Mm.
with children.
Yeah. Remember those
I
days?
needed
Yeah.
I needed an excuse to have something to do for myself.
Yeah.
So my sister had started a blog, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon." Um, so
Was
I
your
did
sister's
that, but
about sewing as well? Just out of
no, it's not.
no.
She's a
Yeah.
writer.
Oh, wow.
Um, and
We're both creative then.
she wouldn't say she's
She
well,
wouldn't.
she is creative, but not in the same like arty
Yeah.
way as I
Yeah.
am, if that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But so I ended up setting up an Instagram account, and it was basically a way of posting things that I'd made and things that I'd
Yeah.
done.
There's a
And then I
record of
discovered,
them.
yes, a
Yeah.
record of them for myself, and like, a little bit of sharing and stuff. And it kind of exploded into this like huge part of my life, because being a mother to a baby and a 4-year-old, my phone became the only other thing that I ever did.
Yeah.
And the Saturday night craft along hashtag on Instagram
Oh,
became,
don't you? I miss. It's not as easy to do anymore. That is it. The
no,
way
you
the.
can't with the hashtag
Oh, it's
chain.
so
It's
hot.
crap.
It's that's a loss. That is.
But it was so
Mm.
nice of like,
Yeah.
every week I'd be kind of like, oh, what can I do this week that's a different picture
Yeah.
kind of thing, and it
Yeah.
would be an excuse to do something during nap time for me or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and I just got super into, I'd always been like creative and crafty. And prior to 2018, in 2012, I found myself unemployed. I'd quit my job. Long story there. But anyway, I quit my
Yeah.
job.
That's for another video. That one, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, that's a whole nother therapy session.
Yeah.
And I had been unemployed during
Yeah.
the Olympics at 2012, and I ended up watching the Olympics with a sewing machine on my ironing board, just making my
Oh
first ever quilt, when I didn't
wow.
realize what rotary cutters were or anything like that. So anyway, I kind of dived back into it after my second child and started learning a bit more, and I think Red Pepper Quilts was like the first quilter I followed on a blog
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a style I love, but I don't seem to be able to do myself. I'm much more a solids kind of person. So anyway, yeah, it just kind of became my thing that I did to not be a parent, basically to
Yeah.
use my brain,
Yeah. Back
to
to
be
being Helen
creative.
again.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
creator
find
Helen.
my
Yeah.
identity again.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
and then obviously COVID hit, and I was homeschooling, and I had a 2-year-old, and um,
That's homeschooling was
that was a
a
whole nother
thing.
level of hell. I mean,
Yeah.
my
Oh.
husband, I was so lucky with him in that he could tag in and out and things, but trying to teach a 5-year-old or 6-year-old how
With a
to 6-year-old
two-year-old,
with a
I
2-year-old going more, I want, she couldn't understand that when one episode of Bluey finished, the next one would come on automatically. So every 20 minutes I'd be like, it's coming back, but right in the middle of trying to teach her how to write something or focus, or
yeah, yeah. Could this
it
happen
was,
another time, maybe?
yeah. I mean, I look back on COVID with fondness, but man, it was hard. Um,
I
so
have no idea how people, because I used to be a primary school teacher,
did
and
you? I
it's
didn't know
bad
that.
enough in a classroom environment, and especially my key key stage. Well, they used to, I don't know what they call it anymore. Key stage one and early childhood were
Yes.
my
Your
loves.
nieces. Yeah, yeah.
Once they get to 7 or 8, things change.
They're not so interesting.
So I can fully appreciate, A, for the teacher's side, trying to
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
their act together to help parents teach at home, and
Yeah.
also for parents trying to handle working from home, other children at home, other trying to find a space in your home to do all these things.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a powerful thing. So I can
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
understand why you'd need to find some space just for you.
Yeah. Well, in the summer, I decided that I wasn't
Mm.
busy enough just doing that. And I'd said to one of my friends, after one of the lockdowns when you were allowed to meet outside, but you
Yeah,
weren't allowed to go inside. So we were sat in her garden in the summer, and
yeah,
I was like, "Oh, I really want to start designing patterns. That would be really cool. I could earn some money on the side, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Just pin money type stuff."
yeah, yeah.
And And she was like, "Well, just put your big girl pants on and fucking do it." Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
And I
pull your
was
big
like,
girl panties right up
"Yeah,
under there and
right, exactly." And I was like, "Yeah," because I've been going, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. So like all my initial ta patterns were designed on the CAD software that I used for architecture
wow. I wouldn't have
because
a
I took
clue
what I
what CAD is
knew.
like, but you
Oh,
were
so I
skilled in that though, weren't you? I suppose so. That's
That's
your
what I knew.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I now do it on a graphics software, but that's what I learned on, and that's what I had on my computer. So I kind of did it that way, and it was
I
a real
love
learning
that. You
process.
used what you had. That's
Yeah.
big. You can have all the fancy tools and all of that, but it doesn't mean your work is going to be any better. In fact,
Also,
I find if we've got restrictions that we've got to try and work around, whether they be software or lack of the fabric that we
yeah,
must
yeah, yeah, yeah,
have,
yeah.
if you don't have that fabric, do you know what? Get
Come
something
up with
else.
better solutions.
That's the
Well, that
creation, isn't
you do
it?
that in architecture. The most interesting buildings are ones that have real, like so many constraints with on them. You
Yeah,
can't go over this height, or you can't go here, or you've got these rights of to light to think of. That's where you get
yeah,
the interesting things.
yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so just as an
Oh.
example, I design on free software. Um, I don't, I haven't downloaded or bought Adobe because I'm like, it's great. I would love to have it, but it's so damn expensive. I earn pin money. It is pin money.
It
It's
doesn't
to
validate itself.
no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I'm not spending the money on that. I'm going to learn a software that's free. It has a few little glitches that are slightly annoying occasionally, like it will shut down. But generally, I've learned, you just keep saving your work and you're fine.
You work
So
a
I,
way around it, work
yeah,
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do all of that or have the super amazing tidy sewing room because I don't have that either.
What a shock, Ellen. That's how.
I know. Actually, it's spotless. No, it's not. It's not.
No,
It's at the
seriously,
moment
just,
the
I know
H
I'm
bomb's gone
going
off.
off the charts here,
No, that's
but
all right.
I'm someone, I say that about a messy sew room, but actually it isn't messy because I find if my sewing space gets too messy, here can't cope.
Yeah,
Um, I need um I need for it to be fairly straightforward and I know where things are. I know things get lost, like scissors
yeah,
and rotary
yeah,
cutters
yeah.
always go missing. And that piece of fabric you just cut 2 minutes ago, where the hell did that go?
It's gone into the ether of God
Yeah,
knows where.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The cat ate it, obviously. I don't even have a cat, but but do you work with? Can you are you better where it's all over?
No, no.
Do you
So
need
my
some sort of
my
calm as
room,
well?
so my sewing room is our spare room.
Yeah,
And no one has stayed over for like 4 years
yeah,
because they
yeah,
can't
exactly.
get in there.
Yeah.
Um, but if I'm starting a new project, sorry, I'm going to jump ahead here
Yeah,
because
yeah, go for it, go for it.
I know what the questions are.
I'm not
One
very
of the
good at going through things. So we'll do it our way, Helen. We'll do it
Yeah,
our
yeah,
way.
definitely. But that's one of the things that when I'm struggling to either start a project that I know I've got to do or I've got, so I'm tidying my sewing room at the moment. Sorry, I'm not saying this very
Yeah,
articulately.
no, don't worry about it.
I'm tidying my sewing room at the moment to give me a reset because I've got a project that I need to start and finish for Christmas. And um shh, don't make faces like that. You'll
No,
panic me.
I've got one too. I've just had this morning some fabric. What have I done with it? Delivered because I realized I'm making it up and
Yeah,
um I didn't quite have enough for what I thought I want to make.
yeah,
So again, I will make it the size it'll have to be now. I'm not ordering more
yeah.
fabric. But
Well, I've
yeah,
got that
no, that's
Bodicea.
meant to be done before Christmas as well.
Yeah, I've got that
Which
Bodicea quilt.
Christmas is the secret?
No, it has to be this Christmas because
Oh,
it needs to be ready for exhibition. Because so
oh
this is
right.
for the I've got a quilt over in America at the moment.
Yes.
It just was
Is
being
that the
shown at
group one?
Houston. I'm in a group, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a quilt on Bodicea, and it's about feminism, and she battled to defend her two girls kind of thing, and I was kind of feeling that and all of that kind of stuff, mum warrior, and I was channeling that, aggression, everything. So I did a Bodicea, yeah, exactly. I did this
I'm in
Bodicea
there with
thing.
you.
But
Sorry.
like I like to do, I tried to make my life way more difficult than I needed to do. Well, no, it's part of it, but I constantly challenge myself with like,
Yeah.
well, you can do
Um,
that, so why don't you do this? So I dyed all the fabric
ideas,
myself,
ideas, ideas.
all naturally dyed, and now I've got a ton of just like scraps of naturally dyed fabric, and I
Mm.
need to make my next piece. So I need to spread all of that out to be able to see what I've got, and then dye some more if I've got need to infill at
Yeah.
all. But that's why I'm tidying my sewing room, is because I need
Yeah.
a
You
clean
need,
slate. Whenever I mean, I am a very messy person, but like my desk when I'm sat down to type and write something like a pattern up, I almost like completely wipe everything off the desk, and it has to be empty because I have to have that to focus.
yeah.
So I am messy, but I like to tidy up periodically, and that's one of my resets, is tidying the room and kind of putting away all the stuff that is not a project for now. To clear that mentally as well, that mental space. Um,
Yeah, because especially with like you say, if you're following a pattern, it's a different thing, isn't it? You do have that your focus is in step one, step two,
yeah,
and knowing me, probably missing, not reading four, five, and six because I think, oh, I'll be fine, I know how to do that, and then jumping to step seven, and then thinking, shit, I should have read that. But following a pattern, there's a help with the focus. But when you're just making it up, basically
yeah,
you need, I feel, what I do, and it sounds like you do as well. I need that, like you say, that clear space to help
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Otherwise, it just ain't gonna happen. And I'll end up making loads of mess and I'll get frustrated with myself and it won't be a happy scene.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
And also when you can
Yeah,
see loads
definitely.
of half finished projects that you're like, oh, I should really do that, or I should
Yeah.
really do that. They sit there and they go, you haven't done me.
Yeah.
You need to tidy
Excuse
me up. Or
me.
yeah, exactly. And sometimes they do just have to go away for a bit because I need to focus on something else. And I've got quite good at going, okay, that's fine if it's just going away for a bit. It's not a problem. I mean, obviously, I have so many ideas and so many things that I want to do and so much fabric I've bought and I'm going to make it into this. And I've just accepted that that those are just part of the creative process. Having that is part of the creative process. I'd
Do you
love
know
to be able to
Cranky
do it all.
Kangaroo on Instagram?
Cranky kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 I know Jamie.
She just did one on this the other day. She
Oh
had,
yes, the
did you see
monarch.
it? She
Yeah, yeah, I
had
saw that.
a quilt up for people who don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember her. What's her first name, Helen?
Jamie.
Jamie.
Jayme or I.
If
Yeah.
I get sassy, I'll give her a tag somehow or other on this video or in the description. We'll see. But
Yeah.
she had a lot of a quilt done up on a wall, and
Yeah.
it was one she was designing as she went almost. And she was talking about the fact that for different reasons she looked at it and there was a few things, some fabrics that were on there that she couldn't figure out why she'd put them
Yeah. I
there.
think
They were the wrong
yeah.
ones. And she was just saying, do you know what?
Yeah.
Thanks, quilt, but no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is almost a bit like a part of this reset that we're on about, we're meant to be on about, is that you have to sometimes just come, if you come across a brick wall with it, let it go.
If it's
It
not
might be a
floating your
case
boat
of grab
anymore.
it
Yeah.
another day and
Yeah, yeah.
don't haters don't go getting on at me about wasted fabric and all of that because I'm not here
Oh
for
no,
that.
but
What we
I've
do
got
with that fabric, who knows what we do with it? Doesn't mean it's going in the bin.
I send it to schools
Yeah, exactly.
or community projects or something,
Yeah.
like because
Just because
they're
we're
always
not making
looking for,
it doesn't
yeah.
mean that fabric is wasted by any
No, no,
means.
exactly.
So sorry,
Um,
you just reminded me about Jamie.
no, no, that's fine. I've forgotten what we're talking about now.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
But we're having a good chat. That's what matters. All
Yeah,
right, now
exactly.
get to my interview ahead and my notes here. Not because I
Okay.
haven't memorized the questions, would you believe? I know, my bad.
I haven't memorized my answers. Let me read them.
Okay. Yeah, because Helen was obviously sent the questions. Hopefully I would have mentioned this in my pre-spoil, but
Yeah.
Helen will have been sent the questions, obviously. I'm not just landing them on her now, I'm not
No,
quite
I've
that
thought
bad.
about it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So number one is for everybody who hasn't had the questions. When your creative energy feels low, what's the first thing you do or reach for to help you reconnect with your creativity? Is it something tactile? Is it visual or completely different? What makes action comforting or grounding for you? Just a
So,
bit of a long one.
well, for me, it's the tide. Like, generally, I
Yeah,
don't
I think we've
fault
hit that,
for
haven't we?
ideas of things to do. It's just overwhelmed with what should I be doing first? Do I need to do, or what? Or I'm just like, I know I should be writing up this pattern, and I hate writing. I can't write. Sitting at a desk just is
Doesn't.
hell for me.
Mm.
Um, unless I'm in the right mood. If I'm in the right mood, it's okay. I can get a couple of hours done, but otherwise it's hell for me. So I need to do something, and that's the tidying up the sewing
Yeah,
space.
yeah. Getting
Clear
yourself
wiping the
ready.
slate clean, going, nope, that's not for now. Nope, that's not for now.
Yeah.
Kind of pushing away all those thoughts and then going, right, what really floats my boat? Like, what's the thing that is the most exciting thing that I want to do? And that's what I will crack on with. And
And I
sometimes,
find it might not always be what you expect either.
no.
Because
I
it
I
just,
stole a load of scraps from someone at a retreat the other month, and
yeah.
they're Christmas fabrics, and they're just like half square. No, yeah, it was half square triangles where they'd cut off the leftover bit,
Oh,
and I
yeah,
just
yeah.
and I just kind of like hoarded them, and then I just pulled them out the bag and was like started sewing them together,
Yeah,
and they're going to go back in the bag
yeah,
and
that
probably
doesn't
not
have
be
to
touched for
be
another three
anything.
years.
Yeah,
But it was my way of getting back into doing something. It was the thing that
definitely.
I wanted to
That's a
do.
good way. Yeah.
It didn't have to have a huge purpose, or it didn't have to be something that was going to tick off. It was just like, what did I fancy doing? Um, and
And
also,
just what
I've
happens to
only
be
half.
closest, I find with me.
Yeah,
It can be just if I just walk past it and something about it will catch my eye and I'll think, oh, actually, oh, I could do this. And oh, actually, oh, Chris, I'll be with you in a minute. That's him indoors, and
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh God, here we go.
She started 3 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. And we're eating at 10 o'clock at night, all of that sort of thing. I
Yeah.
don't see his problem.
No, I don't see the
Yeah,
problem.
get over it. Yeah, okay. So that's a good one, I think that's a good idea for anybody if they haven't thought of it already. Okay, number two, can you describe a time when you felt creatively stuck other than 5 o'clock or 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Can you describe a time when you felt creatively stuck? You pretty much talked about this before, like when the girls were brand new and young,
Yeah.
during COVID and all of that. But what do you think helped you gently find your way back into making again? And maybe what did you find notice shifted first? Your mindset, your hands, or your environment? You know,
So
what got you out of
I
it?
think it's just, you know, if you're struggling with creativity or something, I'll scroll Instagram and all of that kind of stuff. Not necessarily looking for ideas, but I'll come across something and I'll go, "Oh, that's cool. I'll save that." Or it will make me think of something else.
It's
And
making you
so
think about creative stuff. You don't have to
and
actually be
and I
doing it.
when you're stuck like
Oh,
that, it's
yeah.
really hard because you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Like when I've got to write a pattern, I sit there
Mm.
going, "You need to write that pattern, you need to write that pattern," and I just can't do it sometimes. And what I'll do quite often when I deadlines start to get really really close is I'll put the kids to bed, husband will go to bed, and I will shut myself in the study and I will work a stupid time. I'll work from midnight till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but it's because I know I'm not going to get interrupted. I know that I'm not going to have to go and pick up the girls, or I don't have anything else to think about. All I've got to think about is doing some work, being productive. Then I can go to bed, and okay, I'll have to get up in a few hours' time and get the kids to school and everything. But then if I just crash and lie on the sofa for the rest of the day,
You've
I've
done your
achieved
work.
some work. And
Mm.
I've learned that that's how I work, and it's not a great way to work. Um, but it's how I end up getting things done. I have to chase that dopamine of like I either need to do it right now or I need to find something I want to do right now. The other thing that I struggle, like I use is the Pomodoro technique of like 20 minutes or 25 minutes.
Ah,
Something I really don't want to do, I'll set a timer or I'll say I'm going to play for 20 minutes before I do something else. If I was in the sewing room,
sorry, I
set
didn't
that 20
realize it was
minutes.
called the Pomodoro, but like you say, I've
Yeah,
heard of that one where you're not saying to yourself, right, I am gonna this pattern I'm meant to be writing, I'm gonna write it in the next hour. No,
no,
it's the brain
I'm going to do
can't do that
something for 20
either.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
going to
think
do
I've
something for
even
20 minutes. And generally, I'll sit down, I'll be like, right, I've got a newsletter to write. Right, 20 minutes, just do something on it. And
and
then
it's
you
with
can
no
walk away if you're not
interruptions
done.
either, is it?
Yeah,
Do not disturb on your phone. Like you
yeah,
say, in your case, everybody's in bed, hopefully
yeah.
asleep. So it's not just saying, "Oh, I'm 20 minutes. My 20 minutes starts now."
It's
Oh,
20 minutes with no pressure.
yeah,
It's doing with no pressure, no expectation on yourself, because all you're
yeah.
doing is saying, I want you to sit and do something for 20 minutes. It doesn't matter what you do, just do something for 20 minutes. And that I find is a really good
That's
break.
a good
Obviously, it
one.
doesn't always work.
How do you
There's times
spell
where I go
that?
20 minutes, but
Is it
but
Is it Pomodoro? P-O-M? I'll find it
I
online anyway.
yeah, I can't spell it, but
Yeah.
it's like 5 minute timers, 20 minute timers, like half an hour timers, timers
Let's say it doesn't have
basically.
to be 20, does it? I suppose it could be whatever. I
No.
think maybe start small. Maybe even just
Mm,
start if somebody's looking at this and thinking, oh, I fancy trying that. Maybe just try doing 5 minutes to start you off.
yeah.
It depends on where we're at in our lives, isn't it? And what on
Yeah.
earth's going on. So, but maybe just start small. Just do
Well, it's like
five
just walk into
minutes.
your sewing room, pick something
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
and do it for 20 minutes. And if you get to the end of 20 minutes and you're like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do it. Fine,
stop.
put it
Yeah,
away again. But you might find after 20 minutes you're
yeah.
really
After
into
3 hours, you're still there. And
Three
the
weeks
tea's
later.
freezing cold, and the dog needs to go for a walk, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, when you're not up for conflict, when you're not up for conflict, when you're not up to
Complex.
speaking,
Blah blah blah.
yeah, when you're not up for complex piecing or design work, because obviously you're a professional, what kind of simple, no pressure, well, I think we've talked about this, no pressure creative apps help you reset? Do you ever turn to things outside of quilting? I think in your case it's knitting, like
Yeah.
sketching, fabric play, or color sorting. And how do those smaller acts make you feel compared to your professional work? It's quite
Yeah.
different, isn't it? Mm.
So when I have my like my work stuff,
Mm.
and then I have my like stuff that I want to do. And the stuff that I want to do doesn't get done very often because I'm
Mm.
always like, but I should be doing my work
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Even though the work stuff is what I like to do.
Oh,
It's
yes.
it's weird. Um, but that's because patterns don't just magically appear. You have to do lots of things behind the
Breaking
scenes.
news,
Right.
everyone. Yes,
Yeah.
takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Um, and so I like to it's just like to do and be creative. And one thing I like to do is knitting. So particularly in the winter, sitting down and, knitting something while watching TV, because I'm a classic person. If I'm watching TV, I also end up scrolling on my phone
Yeah, so you're trying to stop
because
yourself
my
doing that.
brain needs more than one
Yeah,
thing to be doing. But doing knitting is it's nice, it's rhythmic,
I
and
can't
it's
knit,
so
but
relaxing. And also, I've
embroidery
got
I
a
like
sense
for
of
that.
achievement. I've got a sense of achievement as well. I can see how much I've done. I can see what I've made. This is a jumper. This is a cardigan I made. It's a very simple one, but it's nice and I wear it.
It's
And
I'm gonna say you wear it. It's a jumper. You made it. You that time spent. Well, whether
yeah,
it's
and it's
productive
not
or not, was
perfect.
productive.
Like I,
Oh God,
I
no.
am a very amateur sewer, really. Um, but I know that I'll keep increasing the complexity or whatever. And generally, because I only pick it up in the winter months, I need to remind myself what the hell
Yeah, yeah,
how to do each stitch and how to cast on and
yeah.
off every time. But it's nice because it feels productive. I'm kind of like ticking those boxes of like, oh, I've achieved something.
Mm.
Um, so I
And
like
do you know
doing
what
that.
else I think that you've achieved with that, and all of us who do it, is working through that. oh God, I can't remember how to do that stitch. And
Yeah.
some people would turn around and say, oh God, that's it. I can't remember. I'm obviously useless. I'll stop. But actually, I also find that, like I say, constantly challenging ourselves. I like to, even if I have to look it up, it doesn't matter. Whatever I have
So
to do,
I
my
literally
brain's
look it
not
up on
producing the
YouTube every
goods.
time.
Yeah. It's, I think that's just, I like that feeling that, like you said, of getting over that hurdle of trying to remember how to do, I can't, pearl stitch or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, that's a good feeling as well
Yeah.
as achieve, so not only have you achieved 6 rows of so knitting, but you've also gotten over that hurdle and kicked your brain into gear
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
mastering it again. I think
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
Yeah. No, it's that
Yeah.
there's just that tiny little
Yeah.
bits of challenge. I'm not talking crazy challenges all the time, but it's just that little bit sprinkling in of going, keeping you on your toes, walking a new route somewhere. You're seeing different things. Um,
Oh
I
yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
find I need is just that little bit of a challenge and stuff. Otherwise, I get really bored.
Yeah. And
Um,
sometimes the big challenges are just too much. They're just, we can't hit
yeah.
them. So if we can hit all the little challenges, we'll get to the big one at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the only way we'll get to the bigger challenges is by succeeding with these tiny little ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, oh, mwah. Um, right now, talking of which, little ones, there's only 5 questions, everybody, but I'm still losing my place. Um, and we may well have hit these, but they're just slightly different ways of asking almost the same thing, which might bring out something different. Do
Mm,
you have any rituals, habits, or environments that seem to spark your creativity again? And I think you said about the tidying, really, this comes into, even when you're feeling uninspired. Is there a certain place? Well, I think it's your study by the sounds of things. The kitchen table, it might even be the park. It might be your friend's horse place.
yeah.
That was in a previous conversation, by the way, everybody. We're both Helen and I love horses, but we've decided we need to keep that for another video. Um, yeah, so I think rituals and habits, would you say you've sort of gone through that before, or environments?
So,
Would you sometimes take your knitting, for example, to one of the girls' activities?
all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
All the
yeah.
time. Like when I used to do the school run in the car, I would take it in the car and I'd have 5 minutes before
While you're waiting
going
for
in
them.
to pick them up. Or if they're doing gymnastics or swimming or something, I would do something in that time. And that's again a really nice thing because you're like, I'm doing something that I know I need to do, but also I kind of want to do. Um, you tick things off
Yeah,
in kind of
you're
post.
doing several things at one time then, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, in terms of like if I'm sewing, actual sewing on the machine and stuff, I always like have an audiobook or
I was going to ask
um,
you, use music or what?
I listen to audiobooks or true crime. I am the classic quilter who listens to like
Oh, I
so and
can't
so
do
was
true
murdered
crime.
with this
Yeah.
grisly way.
As you cutting through fabric with the rotary cutter, it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. I also
gruesome.
fall asleep to true crime, and yeah, I tell my husband I'm going to turn into a serial killer one day. No, I'm not. I need to be careful what I say sometimes.
Oh,
But so I do that, and if like over half term, I couldn't really get on with my work because I need to be around for the kids and supervise them, and like they will interrupt me after 3 seconds, whatever I'm trying to do. Um, so I did some painting, which
yeah.
is something I bought paints last Christmas because I had been using their crappy things, and I was like, no, I'm going to treat myself to some nice acrylics. And I bought some boards, and I could sit down at the kitchen table and do it with them. Whereas normally, if I'm either writing, I'm in the study, or if I'm sewing, I'm up
Mm.
in my sewing room, which is in the loft, so it's away from everyone. So it's very difficult to kind of like be there for them without being constantly interrupted. So sitting at the kitchen table while they were kind of playing or wandering
Yeah,
around
whatever
and
they were
things.
doing. Yeah.
It was perfect. They actually didn't interrupt me. It was the weirdest thing. Like, because they could see me, they didn't come and interrupt me.
And don't you think it's
Or they could
great that
ask,
they're
or it didn't.
seeing you creating as well? I love that your girls are seeing. I know they maybe do when they interrupt you, but if they're seeing you painting and that, I think that's amazing thing to give to our kids as well.
Yeah, I mean, my both my girls are creative, but they
Oh,
lack the confidence, and then they see me
yeah,
kind of like get a thing, and so what I'm not great at getting the initial shape, so I will do it use tracing paper on a
yeah,
photograph and then
yeah,
get the shape,
yeah.
and then I'll work the shading in.
It's a
Eventually,
way
I
of getting
hope,
you started, isn't it? Just to, like whatever you use to
because
get you started, spark you
a
off.
blank
Yeah,
piece of paper is the scariest thing ever.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I was in a school before the summer holidays, and there was a girl who was really struggling with her GCSE sketchbook. And I was like, literally, just take some paints and just like smear it on the
yeah.
page, and then you've broken that seal of the blank thing. And I think that's the
Mm.
same that people can get really caught up with, like, oh, I want to make this, but where do I start? I'm really anxious over this or that, and it's just just starting. So that's what I do because I want to improve my painting is I start with the outline and like the basic key areas, and then I'm just looking at shading and colour and working into that. And I really enjoyed that over half term. But I haven't got back to that since half term, even though I need to finish the paintings off. Um, but that was just a really nice creative thing that gave me that um, the
That hit.
endorphins that I
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
um, when I couldn't be working on the other stuff. So it was quite nice.
That's perfect for this conversation, isn't it? Wow. Oh. Okay. Oh, this will be interesting. And I'm gonna have to answer these questions myself one day. I'll interview
Yeah.
myself. There you go. There's a video you don't want to
Oh,
miss.
I can interview you.
Um, how do you know when you've slipped? Oh, I love this feeling. How do you know when you've slipped back into that flow? Like sounds like where you got into a bit with that painting. That feeling where making just feels. Oh, I can feel it a bit now.
Essential
You
to life.
just, yeah, it's almost tingly.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you get back into that flow of making, where it doesn't matter how long it lasts, but as long as you get it every now and again, it's
That's
priceless.
why you keep doing
Jeez.
it. Yeah.
It's so do you, and this is a hell of a question as well, and you might not have an answer. We don't know. I don't know. What clues tell you that you're back in the zone? The fact you've been in the room for 3 hours is probably a big clue.
It's
How,
when people keep asking me when's dinner,
yeah, it's like, get off my
or the
case
husband's
in
like,
a
you really
minute.
need, yeah, you really need to sort this out. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm coming.
You know you're
Three
in the
hours later.
zone.
Yeah, yeah. And it's when
Yeah.
I'm like, I just have to keep working on it. I just have to keep working on it. And yeah, I love that feeling because I suppose
Oh,
that's what we always want. Because the alternative is, in all honesty, is that sometimes you're like, I've got this thing that I really need to do, but all I can do is sit here and achieve nothing. And it's so easy to beat yourself up when you're not achieving
mm.
something. But actually, I'm beginning to realize and try and remind myself constantly that sometimes being stationary and not achieving is okay as well.
That's
And by
almost part
achieving,
of
I
the
mean like
process.
ticking things off. Yeah,
It's
it's part of the process.
it's
You can't,
it's necessary for your inner calm and to
yeah, you
allow
can't be,
that feeling in.
yeah, exactly. Um, and that's also when, my brain is actually still working.
Mm,
I might seem to be scrolling on Instagram, but I'm thinking at the same
Oh,
time of like, well, shall I be reading that pattern or should I work on that pattern? But I haven't got enough lead time for that pattern, and I'm not actively thinking these things, but they're just kind of like, percolating
yeah.
and forming into something. Um,
And that's what gets you to that's my whole point about this creative reset. If we do all these tiny little bits of work,
yeah,
you've
yeah,
got a better chance of getting to that euphoria, whatever you want to call it, that, there's all sorts of funny words for it, aren't there? But just
yeah,
that
yeah,
really cool feeling
yeah,
of making and losing yourself completely in
in a
whether it's
project.
painting, knitting, quilting,
Yeah, yeah,
whatevs. Um,
yeah, yeah.
Getting to that
Like,
feeling is what we're doing all this for, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. And well, both of the quilts that I've won stuff at Festival of Quilts with, people have come up to me while I'm there and they've gone, "Oh my God, I could never do that."
Mm.
And every time I talk to them, I'm like, "You really could." Honestly, like I'm not a magician. I'm not like I find it hilarious when you call me a professional or whatever. Because I'm like, no, I'm just mum that occasionally does some sewing, and I don't know how that is a fluke. And I
It's just
want
Helen. It's Helen.
to, and I do it for I do it for the creativity and enjoyment. And okay, yeah, the fantastic feeling when you win something, it's fantastic. Like, and you
I
can
love
ride that
watching that
high.
video of you going up and getting your.
Oh, it was so good. What you
Mm.
don't know is that I didn't know that I had won the third place for contemporary, which was announced
Oh, you
after
only knew about the
overlay.
quilting overlay.
I only knew, well, I only guessed about that because
Okay.
of so
Had
you
you
get a phone
moved
call
it?
the night before, and they say, "Are you going to be there?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be there. Yes,
I
I'm going to
need
be
to
there.
be there.
I need to be there. I will be there."
You bloody
And I
right, I
got there.
will. Yeah.
I got there, and Kate must sew, one of my friends. I kind of
Yeah.
like bumped into her and like screamed at her, and I was like, "Did you get a
That's
phone call?" And she was like, I did. And she'd been round and she'd worked out which quilt was not hanging where it was supposed to
yeah.
be. And I think they say like this has been moved to the overlay award, or this is, and anyway, I was like so excited, but I didn't know. So you go in, I was sat there and they called me up for the overlay award. And then I was sat editing the video in the audience, and I was and like looking down. I don't why I was doing it during the middle of the thing. I don't know. I was too excited. Um,
It's
and then I
yeah,
heard my name
bringing it
again.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I heard my name again. I was like, why someone said my name? And I was like, oh my God. And I literally like threw my phone at Kate because she was sat next to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
and like went up again. And I was like, oh my God,
Wow.
I want a second thing. This is amazing.
One of
Like,
those moments. Yeah. Bloody hell.
yeah,
It is. It's amazing watching it.
sorry, I've forgotten what we're talking about again. I've gone off on a
No, 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 it's
tangent.
fine. No, no, it's
Although
fine.
I was saying that people that always say, "Oh, I could never do that," but it's all of these things are just the little bits, and I'm quite good at seeing an overall.
Which I think a
Um,
lot of us, I'm not particularly good at that.
okay,
Um, I think that is a skill of designers that
okay, yeah, yeah,
seeing the overall and then honing into the tiny
yeah,
details.
yeah. So
That's
I quite a lot of what I do is I will know exactly what my quilt is going to look like before I start
wow.
making it. Like
Wow.
these, so this is a different version of the Blooming Mandala. It's a smaller version,
Yeah, yeah,
where we only go out part of the way. Um, and like the Reaching Mermaid, which was my other one, I knew exactly what it was going to look like because I'd mocked it all up on the computer. And then it was just a case of making it so I could show it, and not just be like, this is a computer mock-up kind of thing. So I like that process of making it because like you see it being born into reality,
yeah.
um,
Wow.
and you get to realize that what you have envisioned you can actually make happen. So I like that
Yeah.
process, but that's where I'm challenging myself at the moment with the boat.
Ladies and gentlemen, only. We just had a slight technical hitch there. And I was so wrapped up in what Helen was saying. Helen was
Mid-rant.
talking about
Not
something
quite.
she's passionate about, and between the two of us, we totally lost it. But we're going to attempt to start back as if nothing had ever happened.
Yes. Yes. Um,
Yeah, so
so
carry on, Helen. I'm very
So I
sorry
think I
about
was
that.
talking about no, it's fine. I think I was talking about how I've always known what a quilt's going to look like
Yeah,
before it's finished because I mock it all up. And that's where I've been challenging myself recently, like with the Bodicea
yeah,
piece,
that's what you're saying.
because I had like a vision of what I wanted it to be like. I knew I wanted her to be in the foreground, and I wanted the scenery in the background, and wanted her hair flowing, and I wanted her to have like a cloak on that's blowing in the wind, and for her, I knew all these things, but I couldn't quite get them to, I didn't have a finished kind of picture that I was working to, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
because it was
yeah,
much more
yeah.
fluid. Um, and that's where I challenged myself with that one, which is petrifying because, yeah, not knowing what I'm going to end up with, I'm like, oh, crap, is it going to be any good or is it not? And I'm really pleased with it. I think because I've not seen it for 6 months or so, I think some of the dyes on the fabrics have evolved over the storage process or something. So I think
Oh,
some of the colors have slightly changed, but it might just be the photography that I've seen of it.
yeah,
Um,
that can be
so
tricky. Yeah.
that's going to be interesting anyway. But I was, I was doing things new as well. Like I did some improv piecing for the background, which I'm like, this is so much quicker than my FPP pieces, or the ones where I'm kind of like got
I love
very
watching people who do that. Oh my God, how
well.
you end
It
up
was
improv is amazing. Yeah.
well because I
Well,
was
it all is.
improving, but I was trying to create something that looked like a landscape. So it was that kind of, I wasn't trying to create something abstract, which quite that's the
Yeah,
improv
to
that I've done
change.
previously. Um, I was trying to create, storm clouds and things, and I was like, this, I'm just not sure about this. And it was a real like, just go
Pushing
for it, and
against
then
it.
add some more with the quilting. And also, I was very definitive that I wanted her to be the kind of like real clear front and center in focus, and the landscape was going to be slightly out of focus. So the detail
Wow.
wasn't all there. It was just more the impression that you got. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Wow.
yeah, and so that was a challenge. And then the next one, I still haven't fixed on um what I'm going to do. I just know that I'm going to use some of the rest of the fabric that I had already dyed previously. So
I had no idea. Sorry, just a quick another aside. I had no
yeah,
idea that naturally dyed fabric would, I don't know why, but would continue to develop. Well,
well,
actually, it's sort of, wow,
uh,
that's,
I don't know. So
wouldn't that
I
be
tried a
amazing
lot.
though, the effect that could have on a quilt though? You know,
Yeah, well,
if the
I mean,
colours
it's
and that are
probably
slightly
yeah.
maneuverable as
I
such.
literally don't know what it was though. It's just that her mouth looks a little bit darker than I remember it being. Um, but that's just because I spent so much time three
Yeah,
centimeters away from her
exactly.
face.
At 3 o'clock in the
Um,
morning. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and again before this time last year, I hadn't done any natural dyeing.
Yeah.
I threw myself into that, and I tried to create a
Why
Sigbat for
not?
the
Hey.
and it was a learning process. I learned that it's a lot harder than you think it might be
Mm,
because I have that. I don't know if you have it, but the
I can do that. Yeah, I
yeah,
could do
I
that.
that's exactly what my negative, what is it? My toxic trait is I see something and I think I can just do it.
Yeah.
And generally,
Trouble
I
is,
can work
everybody
out to
else
get
thinks we
there.
can as well, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you could do that." I'm like, "Oh, bug off! No, I can't."
People always go, "Oh, well, you could do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't want to."
Yeah,
There's a difference.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is all about us finding the joy. It's not about
Yeah, yeah.
somebody's bloody trouser hem or anything
No,
insane like that. Definitely not.
I can't say no to people when they're like, "Can you just fix this for me?" I'm like, "Okay." I do
Oh,
get the
and then your
occasional box
soul
of
is
chocolates out of
dying.
it. Yeah, yeah. I had
Oh,
someone one of my friend's trousers for I think it was like 4 months or something over the summer, and
yeah.
every time I was like, "Shit, I should really do that." I talked to my husband and he was like, "Look, it's summer. No one wants trousers now." And then it got to winter and she was like, could I have my trousers back?" She
Yeah.
came along with a box of chocolates and I still hadn't done them. And I was
If the
like,
chocolates do it, maybe that's where, answer to that last question. How do you know when you've slipped back into that lovely flow? It's when you were eating chocolate. That's
"Oh yeah,
that's my weakness as well.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Chocolate does help sewing.
it does.
I'm sure
Exactly.
it's
It's a
a
known fact.
yeah." In a study
Functional,
of two
darling.
people.
Yes. Oh, God. Right. Okay. Focus, Diane. Focus. Right. You're an absolute gen and a darling for answering those questions so openly and just brill. I hope everybody's as good as you. But
Oh, I
we'll
like
assess
talking about
them.
it. I like I like talking about it because it encourages other people. That's one of my favorite things about um
Yeah,
making patterns, and when people buy the patterns, is seeing how people make them and seeing the differences. And you know, that's my favorite thing is people will send me a picture and go, "Oh, look, I did this," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I
and
love
is it funny when they say, "I hope you don't mind, but I changed the pink to a black.
I
And you're
love
like, oh
that.
my God, yeah, wasn't that black is
Yeah.
amazing there. Or, I'm sure
I
people
that's
think
another
that
one of
they
my
should do
things
it
that I
exactly like you've done it, but no, no, no,
no,
no.
no. That's one of the things that I do with my patterns is I like overwrite them in the sense of like I try to give people as much information as possible so they can go away and they can customize them as much as they want to. As I try and write it so they can just follow it and do exactly because I know that's what some people like to do.
Yeah,
But also I like to give so much information that someone can go away and do something completely different and it have a completely different look. I don't know
yeah,
if you've
yeah.
seen some of the versions of the Blooming Mandala that have been
Yeah, and
completed or
just
are in progress, and it's
I
just
love
like
the photos of the where the sorry, to anybody who
yeah,
doesn't know what I'm talking about, and the Blooming Mandala, well, I'll get to it now.
this
There you
bit.
go, the small version there. Um, Obviously, Helen has taught it in different retreats, like your one down in what's it?
Cambridge.
No, the one on Bards, not Bardsey Island. No, it's not Bardsey. What the hell? Oh
I
God,
taught it
don't
in
know.
Cambridge this summer. I think that's probably when you're thinking.
That's probably what I'm thinking. Yeah, don't know
And
where
we
I've
were
got the
doing the silly
island from.
pictures of pretending that they were boobs.
Yeah, yeah, and
Because
putting
that's
them
my
in different
maturity level.
places because you do. This is where we're at.
Mm.
You don't make the whole blooming mandala in an afternoon.
No.
Just a heads up in case you were thinking. You do it tiny bit by tiny bit and tiny section. And some of the
Yeah.
ladies had finished certain sections of it and they were posing with them in really fun ways. It really was cool. So I think
I've
if you
never
are
seen it
thinking
like
of
that
coming to
until
the
everyone was
retreat,
holding them up.
yeah. Yeah, you see, teaching you about your own pattern even, which
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
isn't that the joy? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everybody takes their own thing from these ideas, don't they? They really do. But if anybody's in doubt, Helen is going to be amazing at the retreat, where she will be having 2 days of blooming bombarding you with the mandala and answering the question of lots of people were saying, oh, I don't know if I should do the retreat because I don't know if I can do it. Helen has answered that in the
100%.
chat. You do it
I
bit by one little bit. Sorry, over to you.
no, 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 that's fine. I mean, that's one thing that as I said, I love teaching people how to do things and convincing them that they can do these things and breaking stuff down to how each bit is done. So in the retreat, I think we're going to do a Zoom beforehand where I'm going to talk about how you cut out your fabric and how you mark some of the reference marks. And I'm just teaching that beforehand. So if you want to do more than just a quadrant, you can. So you could do like a mini like this, or you could do the whole thing. But I'm teaching it in advance so people can have the time to spend doing that, and they're not spending the whole first day cutting out and
Yeah,
marking
because the
things up. So
first day of the retreat, by the way, you will have, because it's 3 days, the
yeah,
first day is meant for everybody to get to know each other, settle
oh
into
yeah,
the location, and do some prep work. And
yeah.
then Helen will come in with her gown floating behind her, with the horse tied up to the rail outside,
Oh,
her white
don't.
stallion. Oh, can you
I'd
imagine?
love to live in Wales for that exact reason. Is I just love Wales and I
You wouldn't want a Welsh
have a
pony, though.
horse.
I used to have a Welsh pony.
No.
No, no.
Bigger the better.
Yeah,
I need a big horse.
yeah.
Maybe I
Yeah,
should make
so
a skirt version of this because I did that as my like t testing the theory when I was initially thinking of designing it. Is I made a skirt for my daughter, but I keep thinking maybe I should make a skirt for me. But
because it's the right sort of shape, isn't it? For
it
the
could be really
center to be
interesting.
used as the waistband or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends
But
how much of the
whoa,
center I'd have to cut out. That's the
yeah.
problem. I don't want to lose too much of the path. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
totally off track.
You won't be making a skirt at the retreat.
Distracting
Don't
myself.
worry.
No, you won't be making a skirt
No.
unless you really want
Yeah.
to.
We're
So
not going to stop
we'll
you.
talk about like cutting out
Yeah.
with the
In the
templates and
Zoom
the
beforehand, the
in the
dates haven't been organised, but
beforehand.
it'll be a few weeks before
Yeah,
the retreat. We'll have
and it will
a
talk
get together.
about because you'll get the pattern as well beforehand, so
Yeah.
you can read through bits and you can decide on how you want what colours, what fabrics, and I'll talk about picking and all that kind of stuff in that. And then when we're there, I'll start talking about because most people probably will have sewn curves, and it's not a huge jump to what I do, which is with the compound curves,
Mm.
um, and then doing the reverse curve. So I'll talk through those processes. I'll talk through or teach, not just talk through, I'll be
Mm.
teaching you to do those, and I'll teach you the basic FPP that you do within the I haven't got it on this section. On the black and white pieces on the original. And then we end with doing the inset circle. Um, and basically I'm talking you through step by step of
Yeah.
how it all goes together. And the instructions, you haven't even seen the instructions yet. You're going to get them and you've got to open them and go, okay, I could make this just from these, I'm pretty sure. Well, everyone can. Obviously, that's the point. But
Yeah,
sorry.
but having you there, I
Yeah,
always, and like I say with me, I love watching YouTube on horses as well as everything else. But actually, people always say having somebody right there when you're like,
yeah,
have I done that quite right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
Helen will be right there with you as well as everybody else, to encourage you on past that step so
And
that
also
you
it's
will
when,
achieve more and quicker maybe than just self-doubting yourself sitting with the
yeah.
pattern.
And that's what I love about teaching in person. Like, I don't
Mhm.
really like teaching on Zoom so much because
It's
I
harder.
like being able to
Yeah.
walk around the room and seeing how someone's doing and when someone's struggling with something and but they can't articulate what they're struggling with. They're just kind of like, "Oh, I just
Oh,
can't get my head around it."
oh,
But I can
yeah.
see what they're doing, so I can go, "No, you need to try this," or look at it this way, or think of it. I always think of really random things, like when I was doing curves, I talk about the outside of the curve. I can't remember. Is it the concave part of the curve?
Yeah.
And then I'm always like, it's the cupping of the boob curve.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's just, but I say silly things like that to remind me, and then that's what will stick in, hopefully, will stick in someone's head.
oh,
But
yes.
that's what I enjoy about the teaching and the in-person teaching. So I will go through everything as a group, but then I don't do any sewing on these retreats because I just
She'll be
love
in the
going around
river
and showing
sewing,
people.
everybody. We know where she'll be. She'll be cold water swimming in the river.
In
We'll have to
October,
drag
everyone's
her
going to be
out and
like,
say, come on, Ellen, come and teach us.
everyone would think
That's
I'm
another thing
nuts,
about
which I
Helen. She loves
definitely
cold
am.
water swimming.
Yes, I have swam in that river.
Oh, have
I
you?
Yes, last year we
Oh,
went to
was that,
Wales and
that
we
that's
did
what it
yeah, we
was?
did
I forgot.
Snowdon. Yeah, no, it was there and I didn't realize it was there. And then look because yeah,
The
anyway,
loop, the
looking it
loop.
all up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, I want to go there again." Sorry, I've lost track. But so
No,
you'll go through all the steps and at the end of it, before you walk away, I'll make sure that you're confident to either complete the whole quilt or you will have learned the techniques of the oh my
concave.
God, what's the word?
Be under the boobs.
Compound. How to do compound reverse
Yeah.
and
Those
insets.
are huge skills to take away, and we've been
And
talking
it's
about the
just
process before. Um, it's all those different skills will improve your sewing in so many different ways as
mm,
well as creating whatever size mandala you end up doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's just about breaking it down into steps and getting familiar with those steps. Because I think that's the thing is people might look at the pattern and go, "Oh my God, there's lots of pages here. There's no way I'll ever be able to do this." But as I said, it's because I over explain in my instructions because I want to make sure that I give as much information.
yeah, because
I
they
do
don't have you
written
in
in
person
Yeah, I
necessarily.
do
Yeah,
written instructions, but I rely on diagrams. So if there's a written pattern with no diagrams, I'm just like, nope, won't even try it. So I try to accommodate everyone's learning style. And obviously there's a visual and there's the audio as well. So, we will be doing all of that on the retreat, and I'm there to have all of the knowledge sucked from my brain.
we'll have special machines, everybody, and we'll be pulling it out of Helen with a smile on
Um,
our faces and
yeah,
giving
and
her a
just
lunch break so she can go to the river.
I feel like
Oh,
I've got to
superstar.
swim in the river in October now. I'm like, oh, we're freezing cold.
Mhm. Don't know what
It
you
was
mean. I'm
August
sure.
when I swam last time. So
Oh, was it? Oh no, slightly different. Oh, I've gone all blurry. Why have I gone all blurry? Anybody's guess. In more ways than one, maybe. Absolute star, Helen. Thank you so much because I
No, thank you so
appreciate
much
you're
for.
going to have to get going for the girls now.
Yeah,
Sorry about the little interruption in the
no,
middle,
it's fine.
but this conversation has been above and beyond what I could hope
Oh,
for. Absolutely
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
You absolute star. And
yeah. No, thank
we
you
will
so much
chat
for having
soon.
me. Yes, and come to the
Uh,
retreat. I can't wait for the retreat. So
so
fun.
yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, keep on sewing and get that project done.
Yeah.
Evils. Okay. Mwah. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye bye now.